Let's talk about listening in real life situations, meaning in conversations and in movies, TV, radio, songs, podcasts, whatever. How do you get the most amount of information from listening without making yourself exhausted from trying to pick out every single word? How do you do that? Well, the first thing I suggest whenever students ask me about this is, well, for one, know why you're listening, right? Sit down and know why you're listening. Are you listening for entertainment? Are you listening for specific information? Are you listening to be involved in a conversation? What are you listening for? And I'd suggest, if you're not taking an exam or you're not supposed to answer a specific question, don't listen to specific information. And don't listen and try to pick out every single word and every single phrase. I ask my students when they bring this question to me, I say, well, how do you listen? And some of them say, well, I try to listen to every single word and I get lost, and then I completely lose motivation, or I get tired, or I lose focus. And the next thing I say is what I'm going to say to you. Don't try to pick out every single word. And don't get frustrated if you miss a word. I want you to try this. Next time you listen to something in your language, try to make a mental note how you listen to it. I can almost guarantee you that you don't try to pick out every single word. And sometimes, many times, you may miss a few words here and there because you're talking to somebody else, or the phone might ring, or you're on your phone on Facebook or Twitter or something, you're multitasking, and you probably miss some of the words that are said, but you can still follow the context and follow what's happening, can't you? You kind of fill in the blanks. If you miss something, you fill in the blanks. Do the same thing in English or in your target language that you're trying to learn, right? Don't try to listen to every single word because, for one, that's just exhausting. And you'll get frustrated and demotivated when you miss some, right? Instead, focus on the big picture. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Right? There's an expression in English called to miss the forest for the trees. I missed the forest for the trees. That's really to say you're focused on one detail of something and you miss the big picture. Right? You're standing in front of this big, beautiful forest and you're standing in front of one tree and your face is looking directly and your eyes are looking directly at the tree that's in front of you, and you're missing the entire forest. So listen to the big picture. Don't focus on specific words and trying to pick out every single word because you'll drive yourself crazy. And let's turn our attention toward listening in conversation. So if you're in a conversation, I do this in Spanish because I can't follow everything in a conversation, but I try to follow the main point and use nonverbal communication, right? Look at the person's face. Look at their gestures. What are they trying to communicate to me? That's what I suggest. Try to step back and think, what is this person trying to communicate to me, right? Are they happy? Are they angry? Are they sad? Are they trying to give me information? Are they retelling a story from the weekend, right? What are they trying to communicate to me? That's the first thing to notice, right? What are they trying to communicate to me? You can get a lot of information just from that one question. And then if it is a conversation among friends or family or in a social situation, you can ask questions if you're lost, right? Say, oh, so wait a minute. So let me make sure that I got this. And then try to interact and be an active listener. That's a very good way to improve your listening. Be an active listener. When they're telling you a story, say things like, oh, wow, I can't believe it. So, what was his name? Oh, and then what did you do? And try to follow along and be involved in the story. That's another way. Become an active listener.